They only know the due rights of Allah during the month of Ramadan. Woe to those people. We are people who don't worship Allah in Ramadan or Rajab. We're not Rajabis or Ramadani or Shawwali. We are worshippers of Allah in the all months. So that is for us to know that. If it is the case, I would say to the person, your good deed starts with 6 days of Shawwal and also with the tongue of yours. Prophet of Allah said, لا يزال لسان. The man came to the Prophet of Allah and said, Messenger of Allah, verily the instructions of Islam is too much for me to bear. Can you just give me something that I could hold to it? You know, something easy. He said, yeah, keep your tongue fresh with the remembrance of Allah. Simple as that. Keep your tongue fresh with the remembrance of Allah. And you had been keeping you fresh, mashallah, your tongue fresh with the recitation of the Quran in the month of Ramadan. So as well, keep it with the same thing. Remembrance of Allah, with the Quran, alhamdulillah. Just like your key to make sure that your breath, nice, like, brushing your teeth with your toothbrush. Well, the same thing, you want to brush your tongue with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, makes it so nice. And that would reflect onto everything on you. So the second big man came as well. I said, Messenger of Allah, can you tell me who is the best of the people who's got long lifespan, the long, good record of deeds? Messenger of Allah is the most evil person. The most evil person is the one who's got a long lifespan, but a long record full of evil deeds. It's the opposite. Got a long lifespan in both ways, but one is good, one is bad. So, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says also, وَاعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. Worship the Lord until death comes unto you. So closeness to Allah, righteous deeds, ibadah, is no end for it except for the death. Do you understand that? Up to the death, all the way. So you have to keep that doing that good actions all the time. The Quran, by the way, if you leave it, it will leave you. And it's so fast it will leave you. It come out of your chest just like the camel comes out of the rope, the tether. And if you're a big one, you'll know how fast is the camel trying to get out. Same thing with the Quran. If you don't really keep reciting it, it will go out from your chest and you remember it. And the punishment for such a person who memorizes the Quran and he forgets it, the person will be with a stone on top of his head in the down direction. And he will bang his head with it. And the stone will roll. That person's head will go back as it is. Bring the stone, bang again. Rock. Then roll again. This is punishment. Person who memorized the Quran and then he forgot it. That's why you need at least keep running the Quran. And by the way, Quran is not just beneficial with recitation. Most importantly is the interpretation. For you to finish one surah, the whole Ramadan, with interpretation, better than finishing the whole Quran 5 times, 6 times, because you don't understand a word. So we're not saying you're parroting the Quran, we're trying to understand. And I remember setting an example for you. If you have in China, it's in Chinese language. So your target is actually to learn, to understand what is the Chinese all about. But if you just start to learn how to pronounce ding dong ding, but you don't understand ding dong ding, you're not going to pass the exam. So the same thing with the Quran. It's just alif lam mim. You don't understand a word. You don't understand a word. You just say words. Pass the test. Even you're going to get reward, but you're going to pass the test. You have to understand the Quran.
You still get reward.
You get a reward. Ding dong ding, not going to be a reward. When you say ding dong ding, not going to get a reward. But especially the Quran, you're going to get a reward. Because every letter gets 10 hasan, 10 hasan, 10 hasan. Alif lam mim, 30 hasan. But this is not the target. Target is not just to parrot the Quran. Because they were Prophet of Allah, he said that the most hypocrites amongst my ummah are the reciters. Most of the hypocrites of my ummah are whom? The reciters. The huffaz of the Quran. Why? Because either they have parroted the Quran or understand it, or they have misinterpreted it wrongly. So they have interpreted it in the wrong way. So they came to the verses which Allah spoke about the kuffar, they put them onto the mu'min, the Muslim, and they started chopping the heads of the believers. Those are the Khawarij. So the Quran, very importantly, is to understand it. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ had said. boasting a fear upon you. Person who recited the Quran until his face became shining, glowing. حتى ارتؤيت بهجته على وجهه. MashaAllah, you read the Quran, his face comes glowing. And then, after, because of wrong interpretation, he held the sword against his neighbor. And he told him, you are a mushrik. So when you tell a person you're kafir, your neighbor is a Muslim, you're about to what? First one is just to say kafir, and then you kill him. So the Messenger of Allah, who is more deserved to have this word, which is a kafir or mushrik, is the one who had said it, the one who's muhafid the Quran, or the one who said to him, no, the one who said it. He's the one who recited the Quran, but why? Because he did not understand the Quran according to what the companions had understood it, and according to the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah understood it, but it's according to the Khawarij or whatever sect he belongs to. Right, the Shafa'ah, and Alhamdulillah, we'll do the Shafa'ah next week. You could really announce for, not next week.
Next week.
Next week I'm not going to be here.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be the first beginning of the first after this, and you will announce for the Dajjal. So our because we're going to be the Dajjal, so we're going to touch on the Dajjal now. No, we're going to do the Shafa'ah and leave the Dajjal forever, of course. But we want to talk about it's coming, inshallah, in the beginning of the following month. Right, let's Shafa'ah point 34. قال الإمام أحمد في كتابه أصول السنة صلى الله عليه وسلم to have faith in the intercession of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم وبقوم يخرجون من النار بعد ما احترقوا أو احترقوا وصاروا فحما, and to have faith that some people will be brought out of the fire after they have been burnt therein and reduced to charcoal. فيؤمر بهم إلى نهر على باب الجنة كما جاء الأثر كيف شاء الله كما يشاء إنما هو الإيمان به والتصديق به. That it will be ordered for them to be placed, those people will be turned into charcoals, to be placed in a river by the door of paradise, as has been reported in the narration. All of that, however Allah wills, and in whatever way Allah wills. Indeed, it is to have faith and to attest to His truthfulness. Ash-Shafa'ah is intercession, to ask good for other people. سؤال الخير للغير, and it has been interpreted, it has been affirmed in the book and the Sunnah by Tawatur, and also by the consensus of the Salaf as-Salih. From the book, the Quran, Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 28. Verse 28. وَلَا يَشْفَعُونَ إِلَّا لِمَنِ ارْتَضَى, and they don't make shafa'ah except for those whom Allah is pleased with, and they will not intercede for any except for those whom Allah is pleased with. This is Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 28. Also Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 55, we have من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه, which is Ayat Al-Kursi. Who does make intercession in His presence except with His permission? That's another verse. You okay? It's alright, it's alright. Yeah. Big noise. We need some air. That's why. You open the window. So that Kursi man الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه, who is going to intercede in His presence, in Allah's presence, without His permission. From the Sunnah, is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, each prophet has a supplication which will be fulfilled, and each prophet has hastened his supplication And he put it forward already. As for me, I have hidden, I have saved my supplication. That is to be intercession for my I will get whosoever Allah wills from those who died from my ummah, associating nothing in the worship of Allah. And I'll repeat that again. Each prophet has a supplication which will be fulfilled. Have hastened his supplication, and I save my supplication, which is intercession to my ummah, the day of resurrection. And it will get, this will, the people will win this intercession, this supplication, whoever Allah wills from the ones who died from my ummah, associating nothing in the worship of Allah. Now, in terms of the Muslims regarding confirmation and affirmation of the shafa'ah, of the intercession, they have divided themselves, or they've been divided into three categories. So the Muslims, they adopt the shafa'ah into three ways. First ones are the ones who have gone extreme in affirming the shafa'ah. Extreme. They have actually affirmed this intercession even to the statues, and also to the righteous people, to the so-called peers. Okay, so they have affirmed, they've got extreme in affirmation, so they affirm this intercession even to those who are, they call it the righteous people, even the righteous, but the not righteous, and also to the idol, to the statues. So they have got closer to those righteous people, to those idols, by calling onto them so that they would intercede on them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this in Surah Yunus. In Surah Yunus, Allah says number 18. وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ. And they worship beside Allah whatever is not harmful to them or beneficial. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. And they say that those are our intercessors in the presence of Allah. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 3, لِلَّهِ الدِّينُ الْخَالِصِ. Verily to Allah belong the religion, the sincere religion. And those who took وَالَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِهِ they took beside Allah أولياء ما نعبدهم إلا ليقربونا إلى الله زلفى. They say we don't worship these awliya except that we want them to make us closer to Allah. So this is number 3 in Surah Zumar. The second group regarding shafa'ah, they have gone extreme in denying the shafa'ah. So the other ones extreme in what? Confirming and affirming. This one denying the shafa'ah. Those are the Khawarij and the Mu'tazilah. They have denied completely the Prophet of Allah regarding the people who are the major sinners, the ones who committed major sins from the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The third group are us, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, whom affirmed the Shafa'ah also to others from the prophets, the believers, the truthful ones, and others. Now, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the ones who affirm this Shafa'ah, the Shafa'ah for them is two category. Number 1, intercession which is impossible, and that is the intercession for the kafir or the mushrik, as Allah says in Al-Muddathir, verse 48, فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةُ الشَّافِعِينَ. Verily those kuffar will never